The snow began falling just after sunset, soft at first, almost gentle, like the sky was apologizing before doing something cruel. By 9 o'clock, it was no longer gentle. Downtown Cleveland, Ohio, disappeared under a white roar. Streetlights glowed like tired suns. Wind howled between brick buildings. Cars crawled or gave up entirely, abandoned along the curb like frozen animals. Most people were home. Most people were warm. And Lena Harper, age 9, was not. She sat beneath the broken awning of a closed hardware store, knees pulled to her chest, thin jacket zipped all the way up even though the zipper had lost half its teeth. Snow crept into her shoes through holes she had stuffed with newspaper earlier that morning. Her breath came out in shaky white clouds. She counted them. It helped distract her from the cold. She had learned that trick the winter her mom got sick. That was 2 years ago. Lena didn't remember much about before the sickness. Just the smell of pancakes on Sundays, her mom singing off-key while washing dishes, and the way their apartment window rattled when the trains passed. Then came hospitals. Then came silence. Then came the streets. Shelters were full tonight. They always were when the weather turned bad. Lena had tried 3. At the 4th, a tired volunteer shook her head with an apology that felt heavier than the snow. Lena walked. She always walked when she didn't know what else to do. That's when she saw the woman. The woman was standing at the bus stop across the street, her phone pressed to her ear, her coat expensive but thin, the kind made for style instead of survival. She sounded frustrated. "No, I said Euclid Avenue." She snapped into the phone. "I don't care what the GPS says." Her heel slipped. The next moment happened fast. Her feet went out from under her. The phone flew from her hand. Her body hit the sidewalk hard, the sound swallowed by the wind. Lena jumped to her feet. People passed, and a man in a hooded parka glanced over and kept walking. A couple hurried by, heads down, hands locked together. The woman didn't get up. She tried. Her gloved hands pressed against the ice, but her leg twisted under her in a way that made her gasp. Pain crossed her face. Real pain. Lena didn't think. She ran. "Ma'am." Lena shouted, her voice thin against the wind. "Don't move." The woman looked up, startled, as if she hadn't expected a child to exist in the storm. I think my ankle," the woman said, her teeth chattering. Lena knelt beside her, ignoring how the ice burned through her jeans. "Okay," Lena said, the way she'd heard nurses talk. "Calm. Steady. It's okay. We're gonna get you somewhere warm." The woman laughed weakly. "Sweetheart, you shouldn't be out here." Lena didn't answer that. She picked up the woman's phone from the snow and wiped it on her sleeve. The screen was cracked but still alive. "No service," Lena muttered. The wind intensified, slicing through them both. Lena looked around. The hardware store behind them was locked tight. Across the street, she saw something glowing through the snow at the diner. Its neon sign flickered. "Open 24 hours, Hope." "Can you stand if I help you?" Lena asked. The woman nodded, though fear flickered in her eyes. Lena put the woman's arm around her shoulders. The weight nearly knocked her over, but Lena planted her feet and leaned back the way she had learned, dragging cardboard behind the shelter. Step by step. Slip. Slide. Breathe. Every few feet, the woman apologized. "I'm so sorry," she said. "I shouldn't. This is ridiculous." "It's okay," Lena said. "You're not heavy." That wasn't true, but kindness doesn't care about accuracy. They reached the diner just as the storm surged again, snow slamming against the windows like fists. Lena pushed the door open. Warmth rushed over them. The bell over the door jingled. 3 heads turned. A waitress froze mid-pour. An older man at the counter squinted. A truck driver near the window frowned. The woman nearly collapsed. "Help!" Lena yelled. The waitress dropped the coffee pot. Within seconds, they had the woman seated in a booth, her legs stretched out, her boot carefully removed. The ankle was already swelling. "Call an ambulance," the waitress said. "No," the woman said quickly, panic creeping in. "Please. I can't. Just give me a minute." Lena stood there, soaked, shaking, snow melting into dark patches on the floor. The waitress noticed her then. "Oh, honey," she said softly. "You're freezing." She handed Lena a towel and a mug of hot chocolate without asking questions. Lena wrapped her hands around the mug like it was a miracle. The woman watched her, really watched her. "You came out of nowhere," the woman said quietly. Lena shrugged. "You fell." The woman swallowed. My name is Margaret Whitfield, she said. What's yours? Lena. How old are you, Lena? 9. Margaret's eyes flicked to Lena's shoes. The torn jacket. The way she held the mug too close. Understanding landed like a punch. Where are your parents? Margaret asked gently. Lena stared into the steam. My mom died, she said. My dad left before that. Silence filled the booth. Outside, the storm screamed. Inside, something shifted. The ambulance arrived 20 minutes later, sirens muted by snow. Paramedics stabilized Margaret's ankle and loaded her onto a stretcher as they wheeled her out. Margaret grabbed Lena's hand. Please, she said urgently. Don't disappear. Lena nodded, not sure what that meant. At the hospital, Margaret insisted Lena come inside to warm up. Social services were called. Questions were asked. Lena answered honestly. By morning, the storm had passed, and nothing would ever be the same. Margaret Whitfield was not just a woman who slipped on ice. She was the CEO of Whitfield Health Systems, one of the largest nonprofit hospital networks in the Midwest. She had spent her life in boardrooms, policy meetings, and charity galas. Yet she had never seen homelessness like this. Not up close, not holding her hand. When Margaret recovered from surgery weeks later, she did something she had never done before. She asked for Lena. Lena was placed in temporary foster care. She hated it. Too many rules. Too many looks of pity. Then Margaret arrived, no heels. No sharp suit. Just a woman with a cane and tired eyes. I owe you my life, Margaret said. Lena shook her head. I just helped. Margaret smiled. Exactly. Over months, Margaret stayed. She listened. She fought. She learned. And 1 year later, during the first snowfall of winter, Lena stood in front of a brick house with a warm yellow porch light. Her house. Margaret knelt despite her bad ankle. This is yours, she said. If you want it. Lena stepped into the light. The snow fell softly, but this time, it felt different. Margaret didn't stop with Lena. She launched the Lena Project. Emergency winter shelters near hospitals, child outreach programs, mobile care units. All because of one night. One storm. One child who didn't look away. Years later, Lena stood on a stage, older now, stronger, speaking to a packed auditorium. I was cold, she said. I was scared, but someone needed help more than I did. She paused. Kindness doesn't wait until you're ready. It just asks if you're willing. The audience stood. Somewhere in the crowd, Margaret wiped her eyes, and outside, snow began to fall.